called value versus price. Now, this is really interesting. Can somebody tell me what this means?
How much is the property worth versus how much you're paying for it?
Okay, so you're making it, you're distinguishing it so that we have, somebody just grab this and turn it off or something. All right, so you're making a distinction between value versus price, right? That's very, very true, very smart. Now, let me ask you a question. New York, you guys know it's pretty expensive, right? Over the last 75 years, somebody just take a stab and tell me what has been the average yearly appreciation rate over the last 75 years. Can anybody tell me?
8%.
How much?
8%.
8%. What else? Anybody else? 10. Anybody else?
It's got to fall in that range. Absolutely.
Okay, you guys ready? 6 or 7. Okay, so we got 10, 6, 7, right? 3%. The true appreciation of the value of an actual property has on average grown by 3% every year. If you look at that little line in the middle that separates everything, that's the equilibrium, right? So that means that historically, let me just move this 3% out of the way real quick. In New York, the real value of property has been slowly going like this. And over time, it gets to this. That make sense? Now, by the way, let me give you a hint. What is the cost of inflation?
3%.
3%.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cost of inflation.
Okay, inflation. No, you're right. Inflation growth. Almost 3%. 2.9%. So you're telling me that appreciation and inflation are almost the same in New York City? I mean, the prices are ridiculous, are they not?
Mm-hmm.
That's the true value. Here's why. Because true value represents the cost of the land and the cost of the brick and mortar plus a reasonable profit for the person who develops that real estate. That is the true value. The intrinsic value of a property is what it costs to build. Right? So guess what? Every year, certain costs will go up. Right? The only thing that may potentially go down is maybe the value of the land. But for the most part, over a long period of time, if you do your research, you will find that the appreciation usually goes, it might be slightly higher than inflation, but on an average, that's your typical value growth. Right. Now, price. Price is relevant, isn't it?
Yep.
People are stupid. So some people might pay more than true value, wouldn't they? And so what ends up happening is you have somebody who maybe in this stage you're staying around here. And this is price, right? But then all of a sudden the market gets hot. Supply and demand, right? So all of a sudden people are going like this. Well, there's your cycle. Saturation takes place. So all of a sudden it goes back down. Then all of a sudden it comes back up, slowly but surely, right? Except this time there's a boom. And then correction comes down. And then it starts building up like this over time. At the end of the day, it averages out. The true value is growing over 3%. But here's what's really interesting. There are certain seasons within the cycle where the value either reaches the true value of the property or it goes below the cost of building. That's the real estate cycle. And it is in those times when most people are scared because they see the values going down and they run away. So they start giving away the real estate too. Same with banks. And what you'll notice is banks are set up in the complete opposite part of the system. When the best time to loan money is down here, they don't want to give you money. But when the market is over here and you're over the saturation stage, oh God, they're just bucketing. I mean, as long as you can fog a mirror, they'll give you money. And I don't understand how these huge financial institutions are getting all this money getting bailed out for being stupid. But that's exactly what they're doing. So in the real estate cycle, what you have to remember, it's not good, bad, or wrong. You can buy at any stage within the real estate cycle. It's how you buy. But the bottom line is, when you buy real estate below the cost of the actual building itself, you have positioned yourself in a very good way. But here's what I don't believe. I don't believe that you're going to still speculate, buy a property below what it costs to build, but yet it doesn't sustain itself. And that's what some people are doing. That's still called speculation. Because if the property isn't paying for itself, yes, okay, you bought it below market. Now the question is, can you survive the storm? If you can't survive the storm, you'll lose it too. And somebody smart enough will get it at the right price. Makes sense?